Hello viewers, Patrick Dempsey's latest venture into television has sparked a surprising and fascinating conversation across the entertainment world. Even though critics have been divided, and in many cases unimpressed, his new crime thriller has turned into a major streaming sensation. The show, titled Memory of a Killer, has rapidly climbed the rankings on Hulu, proving once again that audience enthusiasm and critical opinion do not always move in the same direction. In many ways, the show's success highlights the unpredictable nature of modern streaming culture, where viewers increasingly decide for themselves what is worth watching, regardless of professional reviews. Before this latest chapter in his career, Patrick Dempsey had already established himself as a familiar and respected figure on television. For years, audiences associated him with some of the most recognizable roles in modern drama. His portrayal of Derek Shepherd on Grey's Anatomy remains one of the most beloved characters in contemporary television history. Known affectionately as McDreamy, Derek Shepherd helped define an era of emotional storytelling that blended romance, heartbreak, and professional ambition. Later, Dempsey expanded his acting range by appearing as Aaron Spencer in Dexter: Original Sin, proving he could transition from heartfelt drama into darker, morally complex narratives. However, his new role marks a significant shift in tone and responsibility. Instead of being part of an ensemble, Dempsey now takes center stage as the lead in a story driven by psychological tension and emotional vulnerability. The series originally premiered on Fox, but its impact truly exploded after it reached streaming audiences. This transition from traditional broadcast television to digital platforms has become increasingly common, yet it still feels remarkable when a show achieves stronger success online than in its original airing. The premise of Memory of a Killer is both gripping and emotionally layered. The story is an American adaptation of the 2003 Belgian film The Alzheimer Case, which was known for its dark tone and psychological depth. The television version expands on this foundation, exploring the life of Angelo Doyle, a professional assassin who finds himself facing an unexpected and devastating challenge: the early symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. This condition introduces a deeply personal and tragic dimension to what might otherwise have been a straightforward crime drama. Angelo's life becomes a delicate balancing act. On one hand, he is entrenched in a dangerous underworld, navigating violent missions, rival factions, and complex power structures. On the other hand, he is a father and a family man, trying desperately to maintain stability and normalcy at home. The emotional weight of this duality forms the emotional backbone of the show. Viewers are drawn into his struggle not only because of the suspense surrounding his criminal activities, but also because of the vulnerability he begins to show as his memory starts to falter. Critics initially responded to the series with disappointment. Early reviews suggested that the show relied too heavily on familiar crime thriller tropes, with some commentators arguing that it failed to fully explore its compelling premise. At the time of its debut, the critical reception was particularly harsh, and the series appeared to be headed toward mediocrity in the eyes of reviewers. However, audience reaction told a very different story. After the show's two-night premiere, streaming numbers surged. According to Hulu's rankings, Memory of a Killer quickly rose to become the second most-watched series in the United States. This achievement is especially notable because it placed the show ahead of several high-profile and heavily promoted productions. The show's central theme, memory, resonates deeply because it touches on universal fears. Alzheimer's disease represents more than physical decline. It threatens identity, relationships, and autonomy. By placing this condition at the center of a crime thriller, the series blends emotional vulnerability with suspense. Angelo's struggle is not only about survival in a dangerous world, but also about holding on to himself as his mind begins to betray him. This internal conflict creates tension that goes beyond traditional action sequences. A forgotten detail could lead to catastrophic consequences. A missed meeting or misplaced trust could result in death. As Angelo's symptoms worsen, every decision becomes more dangerous, and every mission carries greater risk. This unique narrative device keeps audiences engaged, even when the broader plot follows familiar territory. The series also explores moral ambiguity. Angelo is not a hero in the conventional sense. He has committed violent acts and made choices that cannot be undone. Yet his illness humanizes him, encouraging viewers to empathize with his struggle. This duality, sympathy and condemnation, adds depth to the story and challenges audiences to question their own perceptions of justice. Despite its imperfections, Memory of a Killer demonstrates the enduring appeal of character-driven storytelling. Viewers are willing to overlook predictable elements if they feel emotionally invested. The show's success suggests that audiences value emotional connection as much as originality. Looking ahead, the future of the series remains uncertain but promising. If the writers take advantage of the strong foundation and deepen the narrative, critical reception could improve. There is still room to explore Angelo's past, his relationships, and the psychological impact of his condition. Expanding the story's emotional and thematic complexity could transform the series from entertaining to exceptional. Additionally, the growing streaming audience may influence the direction of the show. Producers often respond to viewer feedback, adjusting storylines and character arcs based on audience engagement. This interactive dynamic represents a new era of television, where viewers play a more active role in shaping the content they consume. Ultimately, the rise of Memory of a Killer highlights the evolving nature of modern entertainment. Critical approval is no longer the sole measure of success. Instead, audience engagement, streaming performance, and cultural conversation have become equally important. Patrick Dempsey's latest project may not have impressed every reviewer, but its popularity demonstrates that storytelling still has the power to connect with viewers on a personal level. As new episodes continue to unfold, the show has the opportunity to refine its approach and strengthen its narrative. Whether it ultimately becomes a critically acclaimed drama or remains a divisive but popular hit, its journey reflects the complex relationship between art, commerce, and audience perception in today's media landscape. In the end, Memory of a Killer stands as a reminder that television is no longer shaped solely by gatekeepers. The voices of viewers carry weight, and their choices can elevate a series beyond expectations. Patrick Dempsey's performance, supported by a talented cast and a compelling premise, has captured the attention of millions. With time, the show may evolve into something even more powerful, proving that potential, when nurtured, can lead to greatness. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more recaps on Bullseye Movies.